Hey everyone, this is Sean Powell. I was going to do some question and answers, and a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go to my timeline and I'll post something up there, or maybe an Action Taker Success Group, my own little Facebook group, and I'll ask people, is there anything particular that you'd like to see me do a video on, or if you have any good questions or anything like that. And every once in a while, someone will ask you a good question, and while I'm giving the answer, I'd like to do a YouTube video on it. A lot of times, as a matter of fact, I've already said this earlier today in another video, a lot of times that's what influences me to do videos on certain things. And today I was asked a pretty good question, and I've thought about it before, to be honest, a little bit, but I've never really done a video on it. And Antonio asked me here, if you could give advice to yourself, your younger self, when you first put your foot into the online marketing world, what advice would you give yourself? Okay. Now, understand, y'all, I have not been in this for a long, long period of time. I hit the ground running. I was on fire. I couldn't sleep. It was something, it's like wanting to figure something out when you're passionate about something. And it was just a new open book, you know what I'm saying? A whole new world. And thank God it happened to me like it did. I would not change anyway as far as how I felt about it, because my belief in it is what fueled me to get going and apply action. A lot of things that happened right from the get-go, y'all, one of the best things was I understood it was a given. If I'm not getting seen, I'm not growing. Little words of advice, and when I say little, if you're putting in all the work and effort, y'all, and you're getting seen, it doesn't take a whole lot for someone to point you in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? My very first sponsor to online business, he told me to go do 50 YouTube videos. I made 130 YouTube videos using nothing more than my phone in like a month and a half because I was on fire. And this is while I was working 60 some hours a week. You know what I'm saying? So there really is no excuses when you want to do something. Being a dad, a full-time dad too, when you really want to do something, y'all, you've just got to put the hammer down and get out there and get seen. And I think I stood out because of the fact that I used a simple technique that I had thought of. Show people what I found, show people what it would mean to me and my little boy, you know, what I thought about the business. And then I would show them the way in. And I kept it that simple. But when you're being sincere and you're just telling about it, it's coming off the top of your head, and it's real at that moment. It comes across as that way, and it makes you stand out. In the world of YouTube, standing out is a great thing to do. I didn't know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I knew that the people who saw me could sense that I believed in what I was doing and I was on fire. And that was right from the very get-go. So I'm proud of myself for a lot of things. The Facebook group I was in right from the get-go, taking action was a given, y'all. And such a high percentage of people that came in saw that and knew that. And for some reason, it stopped. It's like after I left that business, I went to another business. Then the third business I went into, it was entirely away from those group of people, a good deal of them. And it was just taught, solo ads is the answer. Paid advertising is the answer. I didn't ever feel that way. I never thought that way. And to be honest, everything I've built without doing solo ads, without doing paid advertising. And I've learned that someone's going to succeed now anyhow. You're going to have to get connected with people, and the way to get connected is because of Facebook right here. Having your own groups, having your timeline, things like that should be a given. That is just a fact, a point blank. Any business, you're an online business, that's what that should be about. But also the fact that they had a chance to meet me, get a chance to hear what I think, things like that. Videos on Facebook, videos on YouTube. To me, that's just vital. Now, let me show you the answer I gave him. I'm not going to read all this out. Let's see. Thanks for messaging. I would say to think bigger would have been the thing that I would have suggested. I kind of took off at a good speed for the business I was in, but after looking back, that same effort in another business would have made a world of difference in income. Okay, first of all, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I'm definitely not knocking what I learned, because if I'd gone to these other businesses, no telling where I would have went. Might have got burnt out. I would have maybe possibly not even learned that action's the most important thing you can do. There's a lot of things that I think happened for a reason. I think God put me there for a reason, to learn these things. So I'm not knocking that at all. But looking back now, if the amount of effort and work and belief that I was putting into my first business, it was a severe amount of taking action. Put that into my second business. Put that into my business I'm in now. And really, I think I would have really exploded to a level that just would have blown my mind. I'd actually gotten to a point where I was making enough money that it kind of scared me a little bit. I wasn't used to that. My goals on my refrigerator, which is I'm in the kitchen, was $7,000 a month. And when I blew past it and doubled that, you know what I'm saying? It really made me slow down building my business because I was a little surprised. Because what I was doing to make the small amount of money was with the same efforts for the most part that I was doing to make the bigger money. And I wasn't really doing a whole lot of different. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's what the right kind of business is. Being consistent, putting the time in, and people starting to see you and follow you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little bit to do that as well as a following. Now, the big thing about my second business I came into, really, I consider it life-changing business. It was Traffic Monsoon. The reason that surprised me so much is, despite what anybody would have said or thought, I did not contact my list of 7,500 plus people I'd gotten prior in my first businesses because I wanted to learn how to do a business from a get-go, from a dead stop, zero, no nothing, and just focus in one way of getting out. And I had not really done YouTube to that degree. I had taught myself how to do Facebook, and though I'd done a lot of YouTube videos in that very, very first business, Instant Payday Network, it was not the same as what YouTube is for me today. I learned that there was so very few people doing searches off of that for Instant Payday Network. But I'm glad I found it and come up the way I did. And, it's not only me. I've seen other people. Jennifer Nash is another lady who came from the exact same steps I did, exact same steps. So, I think you mature and you grow into where you're supposed to be. But, y'all, I will say, if I would have jumped into Traffic Monsoon from day one at the way that I jumped into, Automated Wealth Network or Instant Payday Network, I really believe that I would have quit my job in a month's time or maybe 2 months just to make sure I was safe at what I was doing. But the money would have been so much more than what I was anticipating. And I think that really would have happened. So I'm glad things happen for a reason. But yes, I think thinking larger, bigger would help me now, help me from starting from the get-go. I think that's one of the biggest things. Let's see. What may have been only a few months seems, okay, here's something else too I was talking about. Y'all got to realize, October the 20th, it's October the 6th right now. October the 20th makes 2 years since I've been in online business. I have not been in for 2 years. But when you're applying action severely, so much, especially when I finally got free from a job, when I finally got free, I came home and treated home just like I was doing work. Had the same work ethics of work, except I was doing it at home. And I learned so much. I learned to evolve and try things by using my gut feeling while I was out there being seen on Facebook and, working at home, work from home opportunities, those posting groups and things of that nature. I hadn't even really been doing timelines barely at all at that time. I was so focused at that. And again, I'm so glad that's in my nature to focus at one thing and get really good at one thing. So that's what I was doing. But what seemed like, it was only 2 months worth of time. When you were so focused in it, working so hard like I was, it felt like a year had evolved in the amount of what I had grown and matured into it. That's why when I do a teaching on posting in groups, I could literally do an hour presentation nonstop, talking about it because I had learned so much and I tried different things and I knew I wasn't going to quit and the results were coming. Then I had to learn how to stabilize it so I could teach other people without Facebook jail and this and that. And that's really where a lot of things came from, So, but y'all, I do appreciate the question, Antonio. I think that was a great question. If I had to go back now, think bigger in it. Don't be intimidated by other businesses that you're thinking is too big. When I first started, very from the get-go, the term residual was what most people were suggesting that you needed to be doing. I would still say that's to some degree, if you can get into a residual business that you believe in, that's one thing. The only problem is with residual is usually a monthly fee. What you're going to start seeing is after about the third month in, a lot of those people will start dropping out, and then you're going to have this huge hole, and you're trying to constantly fill it back up just to stay at the level that you're at. That's something that I don't think a lot of people really see or perceive when they come into it. I would say power lead systems to me has worked really good as a residual source. I've never had a week that I haven't got paid from the first week I've gotten in it because I've always applied action. But I also know the big picture of this. If nobody comes into my business, I don't really care. I hate to say it like that, but I look at the big picture. What is Power Lead Systems for? It's for branding me. It's for branding myself. It's for helping me make a name for myself. And then there's share codes. There's the possibilities of that. And it is a great way of making income as well. You'd be surprised just by getting out there and doing what you're supposed to do with it, how many people will come into your business. And that's the way I look at Power Lead Systems. How many people come into it while I was out there doing what I was supposed to do with Power Lead Systems? That's something else too. So I would say Power Lead Systems as a backbone from day one. I don't know if I would have done that or even believed myself telling me to do that. But yeah, I said the sooner I could have gotten Power Lead Systems, understanding branding myself would have been a big thing also. That would have saved me some, that would have got me to jump ahead real quick. But y'all, like I said, I was able to quit my job in 6 months. I've still not really met anybody that had a full income that was able to do that. So applying action, just putting the hammer down, I was correct in that, and getting out and getting seen. So that's what I suggest. Y'all, again, I love Exitus Elite. Anybody's interested, I've got like 2 possibly coming in today or tomorrow, something like that. Got a couple things to work out. But click the link down below. You got my phone number down there. I'm still putting the first person in for you. That probably won't change. So if you connect with me, I'll be able to help you out and get you going. And like always, y'all, I'm here every day. I'm on Facebook. Anybody's got any questions that you'd like to post, friend me on Facebook, y'all, and just post on my timeline. If you're in my Facebook group, Action Taker Success Group, just go there and ask. I literally ask people so I can make content for videos. Because when you really I've seriously got almost 500 YouTube videos now, somewhere in the ballpark. And once you get it with those numbers, it's really hard not to start duplicating the same things over and over and over. So, and some things need to be duplicated. So I do that at times. But I always enjoy having a good question that I can reach out and give an answer to. So if you need anything, just let me know. Appreciate it.